I want to bring in Rachel Fiset. She's a criminal defense attorney who specializes in white-collar crime and government investigations. Rachel, I keep thinking about a guy who is the chief suspect in a disappearance and a murder, saying the words voluntarily to the mother of the deceased. I know where the body is, and I will take you there. To me, that would be evidence that an American prosecutor could use in a murder prosecution. Is it possible that that's the kind of evidence they might actually mount and charge him with now that he's here?
It's heinous to say that to a mother who has lost their daughter and to charge her for evidence of where her dead daughter may be. And I think the U.S. attorney is being fairly clever here. That evidence didn't turn out to be true. However, in mounting a defense against the charges as it relates to him saying there was evidence, if he is to say something along the lines of, I wasn't defrauding her, I knew it, they are going to explore what he knew. And there's the evidence that I think could be used against him to prove the murder of Natalee Holloway.
Because it sounds to me, if you wanted to mount a conspiracy of murder case against Joran van der Sloot, and he confessed on tape to the victim's mother that he knew where the body was, wouldn't that be pretty powerful stuff in front of a jury? I get it. I get it. There isn't a body. But I have seen prosecutions, successful prosecutions before, without a body.
It's powerful evidence that either he was lying and therefore guilty of the charges that have now been levied against him, or that he was telling the truth and that he was part of her murder. And what I think has happened here is they haven't gotten all the way to the evidence that he was telling the truth and that he was part of her murder. But through more testimony and prosecuting this case, they could get there. They are not far.
I mean, it's why in the business I'm in, this is very exciting, because he is damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't in this court process that's about to start tomorrow with his first appearance. So can you just give me a bit of an idea? If Beth Holloway can't get the satisfaction of a murder charge and a murder conviction and a murder sentence against Joran van der Sloot in America, but she can get the satisfaction of this extortion and wire fraud, what kind of time would be the max if the judge so decided to levy the max sentence against him? Like, what would he be facing for this?
He's likely facing no more than 20 years. So that's approximately the max of what a wire fraud case would be. It would run concurrent with the extortion charges and if he's convicted of both. So here the max is about 20 years. And it's unlikely that he gets the full max, but the facts of this are pretty heinous. So it's possible, which means he has to serve out his remaining time in Peru, which is around 18 years, and then he would be flown to the United States to serve out his sentence here. And that may provide the family with at least some sense of justice for their lost baby girl.
Yeah, when it comes to sentencing ranges, if this isn't at the top of the sentencing range for this particular crime, this isn't just a guy who wanted money. This was a guy who tormented Beth Holloway, who had already been tormented for a decade to get that money. So I can't imagine a judge looking and thinking, I'll go mid-range on this one. And by the way, let me just tell the audience here, because Rachel, I think this is fascinating. You said it right. He's got 17, 18 years left to serve in Peru, which he'll have to do after this trial. He will get out when he's 52, okay? And then he will start, let's just call it the 20-year sentence. So it could be, the equivalent of some life sentences in the United States if they get out for some, good behavior or time served. But we won't get ahead of our skis on that. Rachel Fiset, thank you so much for this. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.